Humans do not live on Earth, only robots and their friend cockroaches reside. One day, a robot named Eve arrives in a spaceship, but upon seeing that robot, she attacks it. Will this robot survive? To see that, you'll have to watch. In the beginning of the movie, we are shown Earth from space, where we see that our planet is surrounded by many satellites. Then the film takes us inside the Earth, where we see towering mountains of garbage. These mountains of trash are spread in all directions, and most of them are taller than the barren buildings in the city. Among this garbage, we see a robot named Wally. This robot compacts the garbage into cubic shapes and stacks them one upon another. Wally has created all these mountains of trash. Among them, we also see one of Wally's friends, who is a cockroach. After a while, we learn that this robot compresses the trash and gives it a cubic shape, then stacks them up. All these mountains were created by Wally. Suddenly, we see the robot Wally heading somewhere. After some time, we realize that this robot enjoys collecting items from the trash. His entire home is filled with these collected items. Wally is also fond of watching an old movie, which is a love story between a boy and a girl holding hands. Soon, Wally learns that a sandstorm is approaching. He closes the door of his home to protect it. The next day, we see that Wally's battery is drained. Inside Wally, there are solar panels installed, which keep him charged. Wally starts his daily routine of collecting items while keeping himself charged through these panels. While collecting items, Wally discovers a large container, which he cuts open with his laser. Inside the container, he finds a small plant, which he takes home with him. Later, a spaceship arrives from the sky, and a robot named Eve descends from it. Wally seems to fall in love with Eve at first sight. After a while, Eve leaves Wally behind and starts scanning the Earth. Wally secretly watches her while she does so. But then Eve becomes suspicious and starts shooting at Wally. This is when Wally and Eve first meet. After that, Eve leaves without saying anything and starts scanning the area. She scans the entire area, but she doesn't find what she's looking for. This makes her very sad. Then, Wally comes to meet her and Eve tells Wally her name for the first time. But then a sandstorm hits and Wally takes Eve to his house. There, he shows her the same love story movie that he watches every day. As they dance, Eve pushes Wally so hard that Wally's eye breaks. We then see that Wally has kept all the spare parts of his machine. Then, Wally shows Eve the plant that he found in the trash. As soon as she sees the plant, something very strange happens to Eve's machine and Eve closes herself completely with the plant inside. Seeing Eve in this state, Wally gets scared and tries to wake her up. Then, Wally takes Eve to the sun. In the hope that her battery may charge, Wally stands with Eve and this goes on for several days. In the meantime, it rains, it thunders, and storms come, but Wally does not leave Eve's side. After waiting for many days, when Eve does not wake up, Wally returns to his work. But while working, Wally sees the same ship coming towards Earth again. This makes Wally run towards Eve and then Wally sees that the spaceship is taking Eve away from there. Now Eve is kept inside where other robots like Eve are also kept. But then we see that Wally also climbs on top of that spaceship. After that, the spaceship takes off from there and directly reaches space. Now the spaceship is flying in space and Wally is also seeing space for the first time. While flying, he reaches that ship, where we are first shown the spaceship, and this is the same spaceship where all the remaining humans live today. After that, it goes inside the special exam where the cleaning robots clean Eve first. Wally also sneaks into the same line. After that, all the robots are scanned and as soon as the robot scans Eve, the alarm starts ringing. After that, some robots take Eve away and Wally follows Eve. Then Wally sees that the ship is full of robots and every robot follows a fixed line. After that, the movie shows us that all the humans living on the ship sit on flying seats and no one walks there. They all use screens to talk to each other. Moreover, day and night are also created artificially there and even their food is delivered to them by robots. Due to all these things, all the people there have become very fat. After that, Wally leaves from where Eve was being taken. After that, we see that Wally and Eve reach the captain's room of the ship directly, where the captain and his robot Otto work, and Otto is the robot that helps the captain in running the entire spaceship. Now Wally is hiding there and the captain is checking Eve. After that, the captain comes to know that as soon as any robot brings the proof of life on Earth, then all the people of this ship can go back to Earth. Because now the Earth has become habitable for humans again. Then Eve sees Wally in same room, after which she tells him to hide there. After that, a machine opens Eve to remove the plant. But then we see that the plant is not there. After that, the captain thinks that there is some problem inside Eve, and for this reason he sends both Eve and Wally for repair. After that, we see that a robot takes Eve inside the repair center. Meanwhile, Wally is outside where he is with many other robots who have come there for repair. After that, Wally goes inside to find Eve and accidentally Eve's gun fires. After that, all the robots there are freed and all the robots are very happy with Wally and make him their leader. After so many robots run away, alarms start ringing and the guard robots start to take action. A robot pushes Wally forward, but Wally is very scared of all the guard robots. Eve then comes and saves Wally from the guard robot and starts running away from there. Now the photos of Wally and Eve are being shown all over the ship. Eve tells Wally to go to a ship that will take Wally to Earth. Wally goes to the ship and asks Eve to come with him, but as soon as Eve refuses, he immediately comes out of the ship. Then we see that another robot comes, after which Wally and Eve both have to hide. We see that the plant is with the same robot who wants to put the plant in the ship and send it back to Earth. But then Wally goes to that ship and now he is also moving towards Earth with the same plant from the ship. Eve follows the ship, but then we realize that the ship is not going to Earth, but it is about to explode in 10 seconds. Eve tries her best to open the door, but in the end the ship explodes, which Eve sees from a distance and gets very disappointed. But even then we see that Wally is not hurt and he is flying in space. Wally tells Eve that he has also saved the plant, after which Eve hugs Wally happily. Eve again brings Wally to the ship hiding and herself goes to the captain's room and tells Wally to stay there. Eve takes the plant straight to the captain, which surprises the captain. The captain watches the recording of Eve's time spent on Earth. Eve sees in the same recording how Wally kept her company in the sun, rain, and every season after she turned off and took care of her. On the other hand, Wally also follows Eve and goes into the same pipeline where Eve went. Meanwhile, the robot Otto tries to snatch the plant from the captain. Otto tells the captain that he has been instructed that he can never take this ship back to Earth and he has complete control over this ship. That's why he had sent that plant to be destroyed in that pod. The captain tells Otto that he wants to take everyone home. A robot takes the plant from the captain and throws it into the same pipeline where Wally is coming, but Wally saves the plant. Otto then tries to snatch the plant from Wally. When Wally does not give him the plant, Otto gives him a powerful shock. As a result, Wally falls into the pipe and Otto closes Eve and throws her into the same pipeline. Otto then locks the captain in his room. A little later, Eve's eyes open in a place where all the garbage of the ship is kept. Large robots are packing up the garbage and throwing it into space. Just then Eve is also being thrown with the garbage. Eve first saves herself and then Wally. We see that the circuit board of Wally has been burnt due to the shock. Eve tries to find his circuit board, but she cannot find Wally's circuit board. After that Eve takes Wally away from there and now all the robots who were saved by Wally are also walking with them. Just then we see that all the guard robots surround them there. But a robot from Wally's team crushes all those guard robots. Just then we see that the captain makes an announcement in the entire ship so that he can tell Eve and Wally where to keep this plant. Just then we see that a fight starts between the captain and Otto. Just then the captain presses a button. After that an emergency is declared in the entire ship, after which all the people of the ship start gathering in the middle of the ship. Just then the chamber comes out in which that plant had to be kept. Just then we see that Otto makes the ship unbalanced and all the people start slipping on one side. The plant also falls from Wally's hands. Just then two big benches start coming towards the people, destroying everything, but Eve saves all the people from them. Just then Otto presses the button to close the chamber, but Wally, standing there, tries his best to keep the chamber open, but the chamber presses Wally badly. After that the captain gathers all his courage and attacks Otto, and this time Otto is closed and the captain takes control of the entire ship in his hands. After that, he first corrects the balance of the ship and the ship starts moving towards the Earth. On the other hand, we see that Eve puts the plant in the chamber and the chamber opens again. But due to the strong pressure, Wally's condition has become very bad. Now in a short while we see that the ship reaches back to Earth, and after that all the humans take their first step on Earth after 700 years. But Eve immediately runs straight to Wally's house, and as soon as she reaches there, she starts treating Wally, and with all her heart, she fixes all the damaged parts of Wally. After that Wally charges himself from the solar panel. But then we see that Wally doesn't recognize anyone, not Eve or his friend the cockroach. Seeing all this, Eve is very disappointed and holds his hand and hugs him. As Eve is leaving, Wally holds her hand. After that Wally remembers everything. Finally, all the humans together plant that plant there. After that we see that many plants have started growing on Earth. And with this scene, the movie Wally ends. How did you like this movie? Do tell us by commenting. And do subscribe to our channel.